Breaking news. Sources close to the action tell us a visiting spacecraft has descended over Farmington, Maine. What could these creatures want? Will they be peaceful? Will they bring conflict? Will they have a good weekend at the beach? Our sources have just reached us with a stunning piece of news. The mysterious spacecraft is opening its doors. We've just received an 8-track we believe is from the inside.
People of Earth, we come in peace. We wish to establish an entry for your planet in the next edition of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. As part of a new push from corporate to be more transparent and to not lie anymore, we'll have a section for each planet with at least semi-intelligent life written by its inhabitants. To start with, please provide us with one good tool with which to learn a wealth of information about your planet. Along with this, we would like some other information. What is this tool? Give us some history, tell us how many of your Earth dollars are required to purchase it, and tell us what equipment or training might be required to use it. This tool to educate your populace. Perhaps some legal or ethical concerns, or because there's already something in the classroom that can do the same or a similar thing. Finally, tell us how people are using it, and why they're using it in those ways, especially if it's being used to educate your populace. We look forward to collaborating with you on this entry.
How will Earth respond? As always, Channel 9's News Center has a man on the street to bring you the news as it happens. We go live to the United Nations headquarters, where we have word they've established a link with the spacecraft.
After much deliberation, we've decided to show you Google Earth.
We feel this is one of the best tools for learning about Earth. For one thing, just look at the first thing you see. It's Earth. Now, Google Earth is a program that uses satellite imagery and aerial photography to create a virtual globe with detail of the Earth's actual surface. Google Earth is completely interactive, allowing the user to pick coordinates, zoom in for a closer look, get detailed information about buildings or geographic features, and measure distances.
Fascinating.
The program has a pretty interesting history. Google acquired Keyhole Incorporated in 2004. One of their products, Earth Viewer 3D, was improved and re-released under the name Google Earth in 2005. 4 years after its initial launch, Google has since added similar exploratory programs such as Google Sky, Google Ocean, Google Mars, Google Moon, and Street View.
You've got images of everything from Mars to the depths of the oceans.
Here are a couple of the coolest things about Google Earth. One, it's totally free to use. There's a pro version available for a yearly subscription fee of $3.99, but that's for business users. For our purposes, it's free. Another really cool thing about it is that the system requirements aren't too steep. You'll need a computer capable of rendering things in 3D, but that's your average cell phone these days, which is probably why there's a free Google Earth app on the iPhone and iPod Touch, as well as many other smartphones. You'll also need high-speed internet access to use it, as it streams the images as it goes, rather than having high-definition satellite images preloaded, which would be prohibited. Finally, though the program doesn't require any training, there are helpful tutorials on the web. Just search Google Earth Tutorials, and something is certain to come up.
Many Earth classrooms have taken to using Google Earth to instruct students. It has applications in all kinds of content areas: science, math, social studies, and even English. Let's say you're studying glaciers in a science classroom. All you need to do is point your students to the following coordinates. And suddenly you've got an overhead view of the Franz Josef Glacier in New Zealand. Now you can have them take measurements and make observations, and then send them off to the Portage Glacier in Alaska. More measurements, more observations, and now you can have them compare the two.
Excellent! We've been fascinated for millennia by your glacial formations.
Another cool feature of Google Earth is its use of .kmz files. These are small packages of information that can be placed onto Google Earth. And in terms of applications for Earthlings' educations, they are tremendously useful for setting up scenarios. One example of a KMZ file used in this way is to have groups of students run a search and rescue operation. When the KMZ file is opened with Google Earth, there will be an overlay of information about a missing person. Using their knowledge of mathematics, students will determine how much and what type of equipment will be required, what their search patterns will be, and how to deal with environmental hazards, among other factors. The whole time, they will keep a journal of their decision-making process.
So the .kmz files are like add-ons made by users. That's so, as you say, Web 2.0.
Another application in the classroom might be to use Google Earth to study a war. For instance, if students were to study the Civil War, it might be helpful and fun for them to research battles, including finding the site of the battles in Google Earth. They could do this for a connected series of battles and ultimately have a narrative to tie it all together using information from Google Earth, which will be presented to the class along with the Google Earth tour.
We know little of this Civil War, but are eager to learn. Send us your lesson plans.
3D models that have been generated by users and imported right on the surface of the planet. The students could apply this to their Google Earth and using those models take measurements or make calculations. This would be particularly helpful for units on surface area and volume.
Two concepts we know little about, despite being advanced enough for interstellar travel. Amazing!
As you can see, Google Earth gives an excellent primer on the planet Earth, especially when considered in conjunction with a huge number of add-ons for it.
There are as many uses as there is imagination. There is a lesson plan created by Kay Thorne that teaches students to use Google Earth to map the Crusaders' route, looking at and marking each city as they go along, then flying along the route. They can calculate the distance using the ruler tool and the time it took to go those distances. This lesson you can try for yourself. In biology class, we study the different types of ecosystems of our planet. Students can look for examples of all of the major ecosystems and take screenshots of them. You can try this now. See if you can find an example of a tundra, a savanna, a boreal forest, a temperate forest, a desert, a rainforest. Can you find any more?
But what do you think might be some of the downsides to this technology? Our tests have determined that the bandwidth and memory requirements of it might seriously slow old computers. There are some risks of loss of security as a result of the extremely detailed pictures in some areas that may lead to thieves having too much information about your home or business. Also, resolution is often better in the United States than other places in the world, and most of the 3D buildings are in U.S. cities, leading some to claim bias. Plus, maps and atlases, globes, and encyclopedias can do some or most of the same things, but not with the same clarity or efficiency.
It should be used in the classroom because it has an unprecedented ability for students to visualize the world. The interactive nature of the program and the ability to zoom in and out is far superior to using an atlas for fostering true understanding. The Sky, Moon, and Mars options are great for teaching about astronomy. It could be used for geology by looking at landforms and evidence of plate tectonics, volcanoes, and earthquake faults.
Thank you, Earthlings. We've considered this tool, put our best team of technology experts on it, and we feel we are ready now to show you a new version of your entry into the guide. We have conveniently placed it on your proximal natural satellite, so that you may reach it whenever you wish. Thank you.